Yes, one final work, that is Study of Poetry by Matthew Arnold. So, what are the poems we discussed from Matthew Arnold? Dover Beach,
Dover Beach and Scholar Gypsy.
A Scholar Gypsy. We knew what are the themes of those poems and some of the characteristics of even Matthew Arnold himself. What is the thematic significance of Dover Beach and what is the binary discussed there? And what is the uh, yes dichotomy, science versus religion, all these things. We know Matthew Arnold is a classicist. He always has a love for, yes, Greek and Roman classics. We know that. And he is a sage poet. Sometimes we say he is a sage poet, always talking about morality and what is good and what is bad, good versus evil. And in the poem Dover Beach, we discussed about a major challenge for religion. What is that? In the year 1859, there was a publication which shook, yes, the firm belief people had on religion. That is the origin of species, where Darwin discussed about natural selection. Yes, every species or every being, living thing, has its own ancestors, not Adam and Eve only. Yes, their own ancestors, and according to their ambience or habitat, according to their natural selection, evolution happens. So that is the thing he discussed there. Yes, due to natural selection, the particular species acquires some characteristics that becomes common among all those different number of yes, different numbers. But before that, people were believing that God created the world. That is why we talked about Genesis, yes, judgmental day, everything by the dictation of the divinity. So the same thing is discussed here also, study of poetry. Religion is full of, is challenged by the facts. Yes, that is the one line, not exact line. A similar thought he is discussing in study of poetry also. Yes, I'll show you. Yes, there is a particular statement in study of poetry. Yes, our religion is materialized in the fact. Some of you may know already because you are again listening to this topic. Yes, our religion is materialized in the fact, and this supposed fact fails it. What is that fact? That is origin of species. We are dealing with religion on the basis of facts and beliefs, even facts and figures, not beliefs. Belief is essential for religion, that is not a bad thing. But facts and figures, we believe in facts and figures. We want to prove everything. We are just evidence bound. That is what science. So we are equating religion to science, and that is why he is delivering a famous statement in this essay, critical essay, that is, our religion is materialized in the fact that this supposed fact fails it. Do you understand indirectly what he means?
Yes, sir.
Are you able to understand? Yes. I am just giving you a skeleton. This is not the whole essay. You can have an understanding. And this is a prescriptive criticism, not descriptive criticism. What is the difference between prescriptive criticism and descriptive criticism? Of course, we know Matthew Arnold is a critic, modern critic, and he is delivering a nice piece of work, that is study of poetry, where he is talking about what is a true classic. That is the main thing. And he is, yes, professing one nice method, that is Touchstone Method. It should be asked in your exam. Touchstone Method, which can be very useful to find out which is the, yes, which is the true classic. So from Greek, Roman, Renaissance classics, he takes one line and he compares that line with the other works written by other writers, and he comes with the conclusion that this work is a classic and this writer is a classic writer. He is a prose classic. He is a, yes, poetic classic. So these things he is just discussing. And before that, he travels around different domains. For example, he compares poetry with other domains like science, religion, history, philosophy. And to consolidate his points, he brings forth two different writers. One is Wordsworth, another one is Aristotle. He supports Aristotelian view that poetry is much superior to history. And he also supports the view of Wordsworth, where he gives the definition that what is, yes, poetry is an impassioned expression, full of patience. What is impassioned? Which means full of patience. He acknowledges Wordsworth definition as well as Aristotelian declaration that poetry is much superior to history. So comparative study he makes, and some of the views of critics, different French critics. You can find charlatanism. What is charlatanism? There is a word, charlatanism. 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 That means false show of knowledge, something duplicate. So you can find charlatanism in any other field, but you cannot find charlatanism in poetry. For that, he brings forth one famous dialogue between Saint Beau and Napoleon. Saint Beau is a French critic. And Napoleon, as we know, 19th century famous ruler, beginning of 19th century, Waterloo, yes, these things. So different critics' views are brought forth here for the purpose of consolidating his views. And what is the use of poetry? Yes, poetry plays as a consolation for us. It gives delight. It is a criticism of life. So that is the crux. I have just given the nutshell, a gist, but he has put forth the different statements, different bombastic lines to define poetry or to celebrate poetry. What is the use of poetry? How poetry is totally different from other domains, and what is the purpose of poetry, and how should be a high quality of poetry, that is high poetic quality, higher destinies. These two phrases are very, very important. No other critic is dealing with these phrases in their own criticism. High poetic quality, higher destinies, high seriousness. These are the famous phrases put forth by Matthew Arnold in his critical study, that is study of poetry. Yes, there are different poems written by different writers, different poets, different periods, different eras, but all are not good poetry. That is the view of Matthew Arnold. There should be high poetic quality and higher seriousness. That is the higher destiny of a poetry, he is saying. These two qualities make any work a classic. அதான் உங்களுக்கு தேர்ட் லைன்ல நான் தேர்ட் பாயிண்ட்ல டிஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணியிருக்கேன். அண்ட் ஃபோர்த் ஒன் பாருங்களேன், த்ரீ எஸ்டிமேட்ஸ். ஹீஸ் டாக்கிங் அபவுட் த்ரீ எஸ்டிமேட்ஸ்: personal estimate, historical estimate, and real estimate. Do you recollect what you studied way back 6 or 7 months ago? Personal estimate, historical estimate, and real estimate. Sometimes, due to our personal likes and dislikes or whims and fancies, due to certain motivation within, we personally give good credits to certain poets due to personal likes and dislikes. And historical, if a writer is from the past, he is a good writer, he is a classical writer. No, the past time does not, yes, accredit a poem as a classic one. He is totally against the view that is old is gold. Yes, always we say old is gold, whether it has a quality or not. We readily say something is like gold because it is from old age. Do you understand? So that is historical estimate. These are all some fallacious estimates or false estimates. What is the real estimate? If it is a real estimate, you should go for the high poetic quality and you should check whether this high poetic quality has high seriousness and whether it has good substance and matter, which we can analyze from truth and seriousness, and also whether it has good manner and style or appealing manner or style. So, substance and matter, that is subject matter, manner and style, the way the poet presents the material. Because diction is everything. You can say the difference between the difference between the storyline and the screenplay. Do you understand? The storyline and the screenplay. So that the screenplay is manner and style. The storyline is substance and matter. So both are essential to make a poem with a high poetic quality. So manner and style is judged by diction and movement, and substance and matter is judged by or analyzed by the two different concepts, that is truth and seriousness. So that is why he says Chaucer is not a classic, because his work doesn't follow any seriousness. The poets and prose writers of classical quality. What is the meaning here? Yes. And finally, yes, which is the major portion of the essay, he lists out, yes, he lists out various poets, whether such a poet is a classic one or not. That is the judgment part. Initially, he prescribes or even, yes, almost like a formula with a method, that is Touchstone method. So real estimate should follow the Touchstone method. Initially, uh, even we can say he gives some kind of encomium, yes, for this field of poetry, almost a glorification of the field of poetry, which is superior to, according to Matthew Arnold or Aristotle, superior to religion, history, and philosophy. And why poetry is essential for our life? Because it consoles us, delights us, and it is a criticism of life. And how should be a poetry? And what is the method he takes to analyze a poem, whether it is a classic one or not? It's almost a parallel study. He takes one line from the great writers, almost like, yes, Homer, Dante, Shakespeare, Milton. Yes, he takes different lines from different authors. Yes, and he makes a parallel study. That is Touchstone method. And finally, he concludes whether such line has substance and matter and manner and style, where we will discuss, yes, in future in the further classes, the liquidity of diction, where even Keats is glorified. In certain lines, Keats is glorified because due to his quality, that is liquidity of diction, which Chaucer has also. So that is the skeleton of the essay. You should be very aware of. It is already 811, Study of Poetry by Matthew Arnold. And there is initial introductory part, publication detail, which I will follow and say you certain things regarding the publicational details. The whole essay was first published in 1880 as the general introduction to the English poets. So yes, I'll present something different. Can you see the word file? The Study of Poetry by Matthew Arnold. Have you copy? Yes, have you printed it out? Yes, do you have the essay in your hands? Study of Poetry?
Yes, sir.
Yes. The introductory part is always about the making. The whole essay was first published in 1880. Please understand. In 1888, Matthew Arnold died. So 8 years ago, 1880 is the general introduction to the English poets edited by T.H. Ward. So there was a book at the time, the English poets. It was edited by T.H. Ward. For that book, he writes one introduction. Please note, general introduction. Almost like for Geetanjali, W.H. Yes, sorry, W.B. Yeats wrote one
WB
introduction. No?
Leeds.
Yes. So similarly, for the book, The English Poets, edited by T.H. Ward. So maybe T.H. Ward would have collected some of the poems by different English poets. Yes, he would have made that book and got ready for publication. For that publication, he needs one introduction from a great writer. He would have approached Matthew Arnold, and Matthew Arnold would have consented for that. Do you understand? A general introduction to the English poets edited by T.H. Ward. So that is the initial publication. After that, it was included in Essays in Criticism, second series. So first series we know, first series in which year? Essays in Criticism.
1880. 1880, sir.
Is 1865. Didn't we discuss that? Essays in Criticism.
65, sir.
Is 1865, first series. This one, second series. In the beginning of the essay, so he starts the essay similar. Yes, likewise, what is that? In the beginning of the essay, Arnold quotes 11 lines from his own work. ஸோ அவருடைய இந்த எஸ்ஸே பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அவருடைய ஓன் கொட்டேஷன்ல இருந்தே ஸ்டார்ட் ஆகும். கொட்டேஷன் மார்க்கோட தான் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணியிருப்பாங்க. ரீசன் என்ன அப்படின்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, அவரு ஒரு ஸ்டடி ஆஃப் போயட்ரின்னு வாட் இஸ் ஸ்டடி? ஸ்டடி மீன்ஸ் ரிசர்ச். எஸ், ரிசர்ச் பண்ண போறாரு போயட்ரியை. போயட்ரி எப்படி இருக்கணும், உண்மையான போயட்ரினா என்ன, இதெல்லாம் கொடுத்துட்டா மேபி ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் பாருங்களேன், இப்போ இங்கிலீஷ் போயட்ஸ் புக்கை வாங்கி படிக்கிறாங்க எல்லாம். டிஹெச் வார்டு வந்து நிறைய போயம்ஸை கலெக்ட் பண்ணியிருக்காரு. அந்த போயம்ஸ்ல உண்மையிலேயே குவாலிட்டி இருக்கா இல்லையாங்கிறத மேத்யூ ஒரு நாள் எழுதின இன்ட்ரோடக்ஷனை வச்சு கூட எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சுக்கலாம். எஸ், ஸோ அதுதான் பர்பஸ். அவரோட பர்பஸ் என்ன? இந்த புக்லேயும் நிறைய போயம்ஸ் இருக்கு, அதை நீங்க அனலைஸ் பண்ணுங்க. வாழ்க்கையில அல்லது ஒரு லிட்ரரி வேர்ல்டுல ஒரு போயம் பப்ளிஷ் ஆகுதுன்னா இந்த மெஷர்மெண்ட், இந்த ஸ்கேல் எல்லாம் வச்சு அதை அளவீடு பண்ணுங்க அப்படின்ற மாதிரிலாம் ஒரு ஒரு ஐடியா கொடுக்குறாரு. ஸோ தட் இஸ் பிரிஸ்கிரிப்டிவ் கிரிட்டிசிசம் பை மேத்யூ அர்னால்ட். எஸ், வாட் அர்னால்ட், what Aristotle, it's almost we can say that is yes 2000 years ago. Before Matthew Arnold, 2000 years ago, Aristotle did the same prescriptive criticism. He laid out certain rules for writing drama in the name of poetry. So similarly he is doing that. ஸோ அதுக்கு அவர் என்ன பண்றாரு அப்படின்னா, இன்னொரு ஒர்க்கு ஒன்று எழுதியிருக்காரு அர்னால்டு, இன்ட்ரோடக்ஷன் டு போயட்ரி, போயட்ஸ், ட்ராமாட்டிஸ்ட் அண்ட் நாவலிஸ்ட். ஸோ அது ஒரு ஆர்டிக்கல்னு வச்சுங்களேன், தட் இஸ் அன் ஆர்டிக்கல். அது எதுக்கு எழுதியிருக்காருன்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, த 100 கிரேட்டஸ்ட் மென் அப்படிங்கிற அந்த ஒர்க்குக்கு. தன்னோட ஓன் ஒர்க்ல இருந்து ஒரு ஒரு 11 லைன்ஸ் எடுத்துக்கிட்டு தன்னோட பாயிண்ட்ஸை சப்ஸ்டான்ஷியேட் பண்றதுக்காக சில விஷயங்களை சொல்றாரு. எஸ், தட் இஸ். ஸோ அதில் அவர் சொல்ற விஷயம், ஃபர்ஸ்ட் லைன் அந்த போயம், அந்த எஸ்ஸேவோட ஃபர்ஸ்ட் லைனே பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இதுதான், த ஃபியூச்சர் ஆஃப் poetry is immense. Please note, the future of poetry is immense. போயட்ரிக்குன்னு ஒரு பெரிய ஃபியூச்சர் இருக்குங்கிறார். தட் இஸ் த திங். immense means great, enormous, and it is worthy of high destinies. இதுக்குன்னு ஒரு பெரிய எதிர்காலமே இருக்கு. டெஸ்டினின்னு அந்த இடத்த நீங்க நெகட்டிவா எடுத்துக்கூடாது. ஏன்னா மோஸ்ட் ஆஃப் த டைம் when we utter the word fate, destiny, நெகட்டிவா தான் நம்ம புரிஞ்சுக்கிறோம். ஃபார்ச்சூன் அப்படின்னா Yes, fortune tellers future தான் சொல்றாங்க. Do you understand? But what is the, yes, almost ஒரு polarization மாதிரி தான், சாயம் பூசுறது. Yes, coloring, not polarization, coloring. ஸோ டெஸ்டினி ஃபேட் அப்படிங்கிற வார்த்தைலாம் பாசிட்டிவும் குறிக்கும், நெகட்டிவும் குறிக்கும். தட் இஸ் த ஸ்கிரிப்ட் ஆஃப் அ, எஸ், த லைஃப் ஸ்கிரிப்ட் ஆஃப் அ பர்சன். தட் இஸ் கால்ட் ஃபேட் ஆர் டெஸ்டினி. ஆல்மோஸ்ட் ஸ்க்ரீன் பிளே மாதிரி அல்லது ஸ்டோரி லைன் மாதிரின்னு வச்சுங்களேன். பட் வென் வி சே ஹை டெஸ்டினிஸ், வி ஆல்வேஸ் பிலீவ் தட் சம்திங் நெகட்டிவ். வென் வி சே ஃபார்ச்சூன், ஸோ ஃபார்ச்சூன் டெல்லர் அப்படின்னா அப்போ அவங்க நல்லதை மட்டும்தான் சொல்கிறாங்களா? இல்லை, கெட்டதையும் சொல்லுவாங்க. பட் ஃபார்ச்சூனுங்கிற டேர்ம் நமக்கு பாசிட்டிவாக தெரியுது. பட் ஃபேட் அண்ட் டெஸ்டினிலாம் நெகட்டிவாக தெரியுது. ஸோ ஹை டெஸ்டினி மீன்ஸ் ஹை ஃபியூச்சர், nothing else. According to Arnold, it is in poetry our race will find an ever surer stay. So there is certainty in artham. Race, that is human race. So human race futureல ஒரு நிலைப்புத்தன்மை அடையும் அப்படின்னா that is poetry கையில தான் இருக்குன்றாரு. ஸோ அதெல்லாம் என்ன அப்படின்ட்டு நம்ம ரொம்ப ஆராய்ச்சி பண்ணாங்கன்னா அவருடைய ஒப்பீனியன், போயட்ரிக்கு அவர் கொடுக்குற டெஃபினேஷன்ஸ் அப்படின்னு கூட எடுத்துக்கலாம். ஸோ அந்த 3 எக்ஸாக்ட் லைன்ஸ் இது கிடையாது, நான் அந்த க்ரக்ஸை தான் கொடுத்துருக்கேன். பட் 3 எக்ஸாக்ட் லைன்ஸ் என்னன்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, த ஃபியூச்சர் ஆஃப் போயட்ரி இஸ் இம்மன்ஸ் பிகாஸ் in poetry, where it is worthy of its high destinies, our race as time goes on will find an ever surer and surer stay. So that is the first 3 lines. I am reading from the collection. I have a collection of essays where I perused everything line by line and made this summary. It is not taken from online source. English critical text, 16th century to 20th century. This is the original text, edited by D.J. Onright and Ernest D. Chiquera. Some of you, some of the old students may know this. Original text is rephrased. Original text is almost paraphrased or rephrased as a summary here. So that is the introduction I wanted to, yes, give you right from the mind map. I showed on mind map. So that is the skeleton of the essay. This is the beginning of the essay. So after that, in the succeeding classes, I will discuss everything else. And hopefully we will conclude before Sunday. Okay. Or before Monday, coming Monday. Shall we conclude here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, so we have 25 people. Please tell to others and talk to them what I discussed in the class today. And I'm not, yes, definitely I'm not frustrated. Yes, I'll do everything as expected from me. What I have been doing, I'll be doing. Yes, that will be not the case. Yes, sir has given us a 30-minute of advice. So, okay, he's going to be strict to this hereafter. No, I remain the same. Yes, what is expected from you? That is the major thing. I remain the same sort of person that you have been seeing or you have been witnessing. But somewhere we need to get some kind of motivation, whether it is from within or without, or it is from the notification or past notification, or at least from the pay scale. Yes, imagine from June or from July, you receive the salary of 50,000 or 60,000 per month, and you'll be able to give the bread your family wants, and you will be able to save for your future, and you will be creating a better future for your children. So all these things, whether it is a motivation from within or without, that means outside, that doesn't matter. Somehow you should get the motivation. It is from the notification or it is from the pay band. Every time they publish, they deliver a notification, there is a pay band, initial salary to the final salary at the time of your retirement or at the time of the, yes, the final month of your designation. a PG assistant or the headmaster or the CEO, DO, whatever the promotion. So there is a pay band always, beginning from 36,600 or 900. The final, yes, that is the one end. And what is the other end? Maybe more than 1.5 lakhs for that particular post, PG assistant post. If it is a promotion, more than that. A better standard of living, a better future for your kids, and above all, yes, people will look at you or people will treat you with a different perspective or different, and yes, the total scene will be changed. And as immediately you acquire a sort of dignity, and you start realizing the dignity that is given from the society once you are employed with a luxurious pay. So everything matters. So have everything in your mind, whatever we discussed so far, and be regular to the tests also. Don't skip the test. So I'm not sure with the content, and why should I sit for the test? So there is an attitude like this. So sit for the class because it is available, recorded one. Somehow steal time here and there and listen to the class, thorough the content, be confident, feel confident. After that, sit for the test and try to realize, yes, after thorough preparation, after an amount of hard work, when you reap the rewards, yes, when you reap the benefits, yes, this moment itself is a kind of motivation. Yes, I worked hard and I have got the results. That should be the incentive for further preparations. Okay, let me stop here. Yes, I don't want to drag the time till 8:30 or 8:45. Thank you all. Good night.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good night, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.